The tower houses a 53-bell carillon. It's a unique musical instrument and a complex feat of mechanics. A huge grouping of bells played by a musician known as a carillonneur who sits at a special wooden keyboard. Striking a note, pulls a metal string that's attached to the clapper of one of the bells, causing the bell to sound. Each bell sounding a separate note. The bigger the bell, the lower the note. The bronze bells were installed in 1927. They were cast and tuned in a bell foundry in Croydon, England, shipped over to Montreal and then to Ottawa by train. Here we see the bells being unloaded on Parliament Hill, the tallest more than 2 meters high. The Peace Tower Carillon was inaugurated on July 1st, 1927. It was also the Diamond Jubilee of Confederation. A crowd of 60,000 people gathered to join the ceremony and hear the carillon for the first time. It was also the first live national radio broadcast. It was reported that several million people tuned in.
It was thereupon decided to install the carillon as the crowning feature of the memorial tower and as the most fitting symbol of the peace.
Then Prime Minister Mackenzie King called the carillon the voice of the nation. Now, nearly a century later, the voice of the nation needs to be fine-tuned, refurbished, and restored. And that takes people like Caitlin Rouse.
I'm a project technician and I manage scope, cost, and schedule for the scanning and partial disassembly of the carillon. There's two aspects to that. The first is structural intervention to the Peace Tower. So in order for us to advance that work, we need to remove the heritage assets within the belfry. And then secondly, this is the first time that we have the opportunity to come in, since they were first installed in 1927, to restore and refabricate select carillon components for general age and wear, and also to improve the sound quality of the instrument. Royal IJsselbouws is a conservator that is based out of the Netherlands that restores and refabricates bells, and they were selected to remove and restore the carillon bells. When Royal IJsselbouws came and did their initial site review, they decided that only 22 bells would be sent over to their workshop, and then all the clappers, so 53 of them, went along with the 22 bells, as well as the keyboard and the mechanical action system. The largest bell is over 10,000 kilograms in weight, and we had to remove the 3 largest clappers to ship overseas. So one of the challenges that we overcame was removing those, and doing so we had to create a hoisting procedure to get them down safely and out the building. So to get them from Ottawa to the Netherlands, we partnered with the Canadian Armed Forces. So they were shipped from Ottawa to Trenton, and then from there they got on an airplane and they flew all the way over to Eindhoven, Netherlands. The keyboard is going to be refinished and restored, and then the mechanical action system is going to be newly manufactured. So there will be no modern updates added to the carillon. Rather, we are undoing interventions made over the years to better match its original state, just to ensure that it can be played on for the next 100 years to come. The carillon was commissioned to commemorate the fallen heroes from World War I, and it's also directly tied to our cultural identity as they are rang during ceremonies and celebrations here on the Hill. I feel as though I'm a part of Canadian history. I remember back as a co-op student, we were taking a tour of Centre Block, and one of the stops was going up the elevator to the observation deck where we're standing right now, and you get a little glimpse of the bells as you travel up. And little did I know that 5 years later that I would be assigned to that project to have them removed. And so I'm really proud to be a part of a piece of Canadian history.